Hello crafty friends, have you got lots of white scraps languishing in your stash? If you have, then grab them, because today I'm going to use some white scraps to create some DIY pattern paper. If you haven't got white scraps, if you're not into DIY pattern paper, then you can just use regular paper for the card making process. But to start off, I've pulled some fairly chunky white scraps from my white scrap bin, and I'm going to tape them together so that they become one large piece of paper. This one I'm going to cut down to get rid of these awkward angular bits, and to attach them to one another I'm just using washi tape. This is a pretty low tack tape and I'll be able to peel it off without damaging the reverse of my paper scraps. So that's them all stuck together. I can flip that over and now I've got a nice big piece of paper to work on. So yesterday I was pootling around my garden and I've got a lovely big lavender bush in one of my beds, and I picked one of the flowers, or one of the little clusters of flowers, and I thought today I would use the colours that are in this. So we've got a light lavender colour, a dark lavender colour, and there's a bit of brown and green in there too. And what better colour to start with than milled lavender? It's a very pale lavender colour. I'm going to smush it on my mat, spritz it with some water, pick it up with my smusher and smush it all over. If you want to know how to make a smusher, I do have a video linked below that will show you how to do that. These scraps are just regular white cardstock, not watercolour paper or mixed media paper. So they're not designed to handle lots of water, but they can cope with a bit of smushing. Next, I'm going to use wilted violet, which I think goes very nicely with the dark purple on there. But I don't want to overwhelm the milled lavender, so I'm going to be fairly sparing with this. Right, I'm going to dry this with my hairdryer. I want to add a bit more visual texture to this, and I've got a scripty font stamp here, and I'm going to stamp that in the milled lavender. Not looking for perfect impressions, I just want to pop it in a few places. We'll see how well this shows up. I might try and do a darker colour if it doesn't show up well. Barely there, is it? We'll do that in the wilted violet then. So I want to do some stenciling on top, and I've got this stencil which is kind of reminiscent of flowers, so it's speaking to me right now. And I'm going to use pixie dust from Catherine Pooler, because this is another nice lavendery coloured ink, and these are dye inks. They're translucent. The distress oxides contain pigment and dye, and the pigment makes them sort of semi-opaque, but these have no pigment in them, so they are completely translucent. So you should see, not completely translucent, they would be transparent if they were completely translucent, but these are translucent, so you should see through them to what's behind. So I think with things like this, these kind of mixed media backgrounds where you're using a mixture of techniques, smushing, stamping, stenciling, it's about layering, it's about overlapping the different elements. So you overlap the smushing with stamping, you overlap the stamping with the stenciling. But you don't have to cover every inch with everything. So I'm happy with that. What I want to do now is some splattering. So this is my mixed media recipe: smushing, stamping, stenciling, spattering in some kind of order. And because there's green on my lavender here, I'm going to use the green, well, one of the greens, this is more of a teal, to spatter. I always get asked about this palette. It is a combination of the Prima Metallic Accents original palette and the Prima Metallic Accents Pastel Palette. So over time, I worked out which were my favourites from both palettes and I put them in the same palette. So this green is working well. It's providing a bit of contrast, something a little bit different, plus there'll be the shimmer and shine from the mica in the paints. So everything's getting a good spattering to bind it all together. And once again, I'll dry that with my hairdryer. So now that's all dry, we can just flip it over and remove the washi tape. And because I've heated it with my heat tool, that's softened the adhesive on the tape and made it really, really easy to peel up. Because I used a text stamp, there is a right way and a wrong way up for these pieces. So I want to make sure I get them the right way up. The text isn't readable, but it'd be very obvious if it was upside down, and then it would look a bit weird, I think. So I've decided I'm going to turn all these into a gift set for a friend whose birthday is coming up, and she loves these colours. She also loves butterflies, so definitely be adding some butterflies. But I thought I would use my postage stamp dies to cut varying sizes of postage stamp from these bits. And I'm lining the postage stamps so that this horizontal line here is lined up with the text, so the text is kind of square on. So I'm just going to see how many postage stamps I can get out of this lot. Right, I have got enough for 8 cards with varying arrangements of postage stamps. So I'm going to start with my largest ones. I've got 2 of these. This one I'm going to put central. This one I'm going to put up here so the stitching lines up with the top of the card. And then I'm going to snip that off. So even though I've used the same die cut, I can get a different look. So this one again, I'm going to put centrally. I'm going to use my T-square ruler to get that lined up so it's horizontal on the card. And this one I'm going to put to the right, coming in from the side. So for these, I've got 3 different sizes. Get that lined up there. This one can have tape runner. I'm also going to get a little bit of scrap and put that underneath to support it. And this one's going to need a little bit of cardboard under the top edge, but 2 layers. So for this one, I'm going to put glue on the back of the middle one, the middle size one. So this is going to be a background piece. I'll pop it about there. This one can have some scaffolding down this side. And that one can go about there. So I'm just going to use the grid on my mat to help me work out where the middle is. I use this as a centre line and then get the card balanced either side, and then I can work it out from there. So for this last card, I've got 6 of these little stamps and I've die cut them in a landscape orientation so you can still see the words are the right way up. And I want to place them in a little group of 6 in the middle. So I've marked the middle of the card again with pencil. And I start with the middle 2, then I'll do the bottom 2, and that will help me place the top 2. To glue these, I'm just dipping them into some of the white glue. Now I'm going to rub out that pencil line. And these are now ready for some further embellishment. What I'll do is I will embellish one on camera and then I'll do the rest off camera and show you those at the end. I've got some of the linen textured card here that I made my card blanks from, and I'm going to colour it with the same teal that I spattered onto the background. So I'll get some nice linen textured metallic shiny teal card. Again, this isn't designed to take lots of water, but I'm not giving it lots of water. I'm just loading up a paintbrush and quickly swiping it all over. I'll do the whole thing, even if I don't use it today. It can go in my box of backgrounds and bits. And now I'll dry that. So I've got lots of little label dies here, and I'm going to cut out a bunch of labels, but I'll just do one card at a time. For a large card, I'm going to use a large label. It's a sort of long and skinny one. And I've put my rule of thirds acetate grid on my card so I can line up that label on this bottom line here. If you want to know more about the rule of thirds grid, then there is a video linked below that you can check out. So that's good. Next, I'm going to add a stitched circle of vellum. To adhere that, I'm going to put a dot of the glue in the middle. This might make it curl slightly, but it will flatten as it dries out. And I'm going to pop it on that intersection there. For my butterfly, I'm going to do a gold foil die cut. For this, I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the body. Not too much, because I don't want it splurging out. And I'm going to place that on the circle on that intersection point there. For my sentiments, I'm going to use the same cut-out dies that I used in the last video, I think. I'm going to cut them from white, add some glue to the back, stick them on some gold foil, and then cut the gold foil cardstock down just so that the letters are gold. And that can get dipped in glue and put on here. So go near the butterfly. In this case, I'm going to put it up here in the top right hand corner, because the butterfly is flying in that direction. And because you can never have too much sparkle and shine, I'm going to add some extra gold dots. These are slightly wobbly dots. They're not perfect circles. I rather like that. So that's card number 1 finished. I'm going to use the same design ideas, similar elements but different dies to create the rest of the card. So then I'll come back and show you how they turned out. Right, I'm back, and here are some close-up photographs of the cards that I've made. I've put the butterfly label and circle clusters on different areas of the rule of thirds grid. Some on intersections, some in the middle of lines, one in the middle of the card. I've then tried to balance the composition with the placement of the sentiment. So it's either clustered with the butterflies or it's opposite, as I said, to provide some balance. And then I've introduced a sense of movement and flow with some gold dots. And these tend to draw the eye in the same direction that the butterfly is flying. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope it's given you plenty of ideas of things you can do in your own card making and with your own white scraps. If it has, please do let me know in the comments, leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, then subscribe and ring the notification bell, and I will see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching, bye for now.